Okay, so unfortunately today nobody joined for the kickoff meeting, but basically um, the solution part will mostly not change. I just talk about the solution, and for the competition it's longer, so you will have an opportunity to ask questions about it. So yeah, so if you hear this in record, just I won't have your questions now, so just write them in Discord, I guess. So let's start with the last week solution. Let me share the screen. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so let me start with this. I guess so. There are basically two tables I used for this. So let me remind the task. So we needed to find the transactions that are the pump fund swaps and that are depleting the liquidity of the pool, basically. But I mean, I have like more sophisticated, I guess, conditions that are just. I will go through them here. So if you are just watching this and you didn't try to solve the task, you maybe want to skip this and try first. So let's go with this query to the DEX Solana trades, because on the pub fund it's so all the transactions are just swaps. So if the transaction depleting this liquidity, it's here. So what I did. So first of all, we are limiting to pump.fund, which are the pump fund pool transactions. Only when we are selling, that's why we are buying this SOL token. And here is that. So this is the we know that before the transaction, the liquidity at least one SOL, and we know that it should be decreased at least 10 times. So we know actually that, I mean, the first idea here would be that delta of the current liquidity and the liquidity after the transaction should be at least 0.9. This is we know for sure. So we use this only as a filter. So that in this case, we work with the smaller table. But initially, it was 0.9 here. But then I discovered that some of the transactions, actually, they are like in the same transaction, we have multiple swaps, which is, of course, possible. And in this case, in this table, those are separate strings, so separate rows. And this amount is smaller than 0.9, but the total transaction swap amount could be very easily, could be even one or any, I guess. So in order to catch these transactions too, I lowered this like though this threshold is lowered. So even like if you have 10 swaps in one transaction, which actually I don't think it's possible, but even if in this case we are okay, so we still not dropping this transaction just by this filter. And later, using the additional information, we filtered only the ones we need. Here is the time condition, of course. It's the one which in the task which I gave in the task. Yeah, and here this is the filtered transactions. Yeah, and now here's the trick. Yeah, so we from the big table of Solana transactions, we are going through all the transactions, which first of all, they are having the contract address of the pump fund. So again, we only care about the transactions that are with the pump fund pool. So for this period of range of time, of course, we only need successful transactions, and we pre-filtering all these transactions to only those that are connected with the pump fund. So after this, we are saying, okay, now let's select all the transaction IDs that actually we join in this table. So we pre-filtered one table, pre-filtered second table, and then we know that for sure this is intersection. So this is so all our transactions are in among this, but not all of them are correct. So here, based on the Solana transactions table, we are we can actually get all these other additional conditions. So how I'm doing this here? So I'm saying that, okay, let's go through these balances, which are the changes of the liquidity, the SOL amounts, and specifically for the account connected with the pump fund swaps, one of the accounts, it actually is the account with the liquidity, of the Solana liquidity, and we know it should drop. So it's basically a trick. So if we found the swap transaction, and we see that some of the token accounts is having this drop. So again, we have the transaction which sells token for Solana, and we see that one of the accounts in this transaction dropping so it was at least one Solana, and it dropping 10 times. We are having here we understand that it can only be the pool drop-in liquidity of the pool, which of course technically it's not 100% bulletproof. But again, I said that in this maybe we need to be a little bit creative. So I tried this, and I see that just by bare eyes, I see that all the transactions I get all the transactions I get this way is actually are correct. And so I get that this, so it's even though it's not 100%, but this heuristic works. And maybe some of the other participants actually did more, I guess, guaranteed, like the query which guarantees here that it's the right account is depleted. But here it just works. So this kind of solution. And yeah, so again, what's here is that we are having the assumption that if any account from this transaction is dropping with all the conditions we are interested in, like this at least 10 times, and it was at least one SOL before, that it is the liquidity pool. Okay. So I wanted to invite the participants, but for some reason he just dropped. Okay, so yeah, so this is basically the this is basically it. This is the I guess outer solution, and for this specific task I want to the other solutions from the participants, especially those who get like one score of 1 or like very close one, to also to be public, so that we actually can compare the approaches, and maybe something is more interesting, especially because actually for this task later I understood that it's possible even with only the DEX Solana trace table, because we know how the curve, the form of the curve of the liquidity and the token, this bonding curve, we know actually exactly the form of this curve. So even that when we know that it's, we just know the amount of tokens sold and amount of SOL you get. Even with this information, you actually can reproduce the balance. So it's totally doable. It's just a mathematical, like I guess, the formula. If knowing the formula of the pool, you can also do this. But I'm not sure if I didn't yet look through the solutions of the participants, so I'm not sure if anybody did this, because it's not obvious how to do this. So okay, so let's wrap up with this. Yeah, unfortunately, because we don't have any questions, I just go through the I guess through the plan. Yeah, so again, this is the solution, and I mean, and you're welcome to ask more questions on this, but I will move right now to second part, which is I guess, yeah, and about the prizes and the stuff. It's just the it's exactly as in the Kaggle leaderboard. So the scores is exactly the scores I considered for the rating and all those purposes. So yeah, let's move to the new task. So the new task is this one, and it's bigger in many senses. So it's expected to take more than few hours, maybe few days, and even for some who are really interested into this kind of machine learning, don't want to maybe learn a little bit there, they maybe you can spend more time than just a few days. But I think you can get some results if you have experience in a few days, and there's pretty good results. So what is the basically? So all we know that there are some of the pump fund tokens that are go graduate, I guess. So there is mechanics when there is enough liquidity, the pool is depleted, and they're creating a new pool. Before that on radio, now pump swap. So, but the basic is just if the token has enough liquidity, is migrated to another pool for, I guess, a bigger tokens with the lower commission. And what we want, base it only on the first 100 blocks of the information after the token creation. We want to know if it will go to the nice grow until this level or not. And sometimes it could be very fast, and you have this information in data set. I mean, for example, you have 100 blocks and actually graduate after like 20 blocks after this. But sometimes it's like it's not in 1 minute. It may be in few minutes, in few hours. That's up to you how you can use this. But basically, it's you need to understand the what influencing this process, and it's not 100%. So there is part of this is just a coincidence, luck, or I guess the things. But you also need to understand that the price of the token, the liquidity of the token is directly influenced by the traders that are the first of all developer of the token, which usually also trade in this token. And hello. So just to be sure, can you hear me? Uh, uh, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Is it Sile? Okay. So I'm not sure if it's working or not. Just if you have questions, if you can hear me, jump in. So again, in this task, it's really influenced by these early people who are invested in this token because either they are developers or it's some by some logic the so-called snipers. There's usually those are the programs, some I guess the trading bots which are investing in some tokens right after they are deployed, and because most of these tokens are grow at least a little bit and they can get some profit from it, so that so given that they are I expect that the good solutions for this task, they actually would account for this, like I guess the bigger forces for the price, for the moving of this. So it's I think this task is mostly analytical task because you need to be you need to understand how this works and to get some maybe additional information from the blockchain sometimes to get a good features about the traders that are participating in trading of this token. So you can get a very important information knowing who traded these first transactions, especially the big who have a lot of this token, where they get the money from, and those kind of things. Trying to understand the because most of them are not people, like many of them are trading bots, and that means they are repetitive. And if you understand what is the algorithm, you also can expect to know more about how it will influence the token price, and therefore be to have to build a better model with these features. But of course, you will need the experience, some at least some experience in machine learning, or you will get it, or you will get it along the way because you will need to produce the machine learning model with this. Probably you can build a model based purely on the rules, but I don't expect it to be better than the machine learning models that other competitors would build. And it might be partly about the forensics. So sometimes you will need to get deeper and understand how this works, maybe with your bare eyes to understand these algorithms and connect these addresses. So build some algorithm that can connect different addresses for different tokens to the same entity. I guess this is a little bit forensical part of work, but again, it's not. This is just my expectations that this would help, but maybe just pure machine learning would be enough here. Maybe the most of the work would be just analytical work, maybe to bring more data, more important data for the features, or maybe that the rules maybe for this task that might because most of the tokens are, I guess, they are launched algorithmically, and the traded algorithmically. At some points, it might be just if you understand how it works, might be not that hard to build the formula by hands. I'm not sure. So it's up to you to decide how you would approach this task, but you will have more time, the 4 weeks until the end of the April, and the prizes are bigger. And I think it would be more fun than the last week's task because they were just only analytical. So yeah, mm, mm, I don't know if you can hear me, but if you can, you're welcome to ask me questions. Yeah, of course. I guess maybe um, It's very strange. So yeah, I built a baseline, very simple one, but for some reason I can't see it if it's can you see it or not? Let me check if it's public or not. Yeah, it's not public, that's why. So yes, make it public so you can actually uh, ah, and I see the text. So yeah, here this is I will go through this because I think it's important, the baseline. And let me see what's in the text. I can see the change. Okay, it's good. So this is the a baseline for those who are not, for those who are in machine learning competitions. This is probably too basic, but if you're a beginner in this, it will help you a lot. From my experience, you can just start with this, try to do few iterations, and probably if you actually participate in a week or two, you will just rewrite it all 100% of the code will be rewritten by yourself, but this could help to start. So how you approaching this? So first of all, there are two, so there is a data set for this competition, which is connected here. Where it's where all the data. So this the chunks with transactions, with the swaps, and also some additional information about the tokens, these two, and the train data set and test data set. So how it look like? So this all these chunks, we can download them and reading them with the Python. And here's how the table looks. So for each operation, there is the block time, the slot, which actually one depends on the other. And there is a transaction, so you can take a look by your bare eyes if you want, or join with some other information. The sign-in wallet is basically it's just the I guess the trader wallet, so the wallet which out paying for this transaction, authorizes this transaction. Direction is buy or sell. The base coin is the coin that is traded, and base coin amount is the amount of this coin. Quote coin amount is basically how much Solana is paid for this, or how much Solana the person gets from this trading. And this might be a little bit confusing why it's virtual. So there's virtual token balance after and virtual sol balance after. So because in the table, so actually the table I get it from, there is some additional data which is based on the understanding how the pump fund bonding curve works. So this formula. So the coin traded as if there is additional 30 Solana in the pool, and I think it's the same for some additional token in the pool. Like basically this helps to understand the current price of the token. So this could help, or you can use it for something else. So just it helps a little bit to know not only the how much coin we exchanged, but also what would be the balance after this exchange, like how much liquidity there is left in the pool. For example, understanding that the current sol balance is closer to the graduation, of course, would be a good feature for the month. Yeah, so I mix it. I mix it the transaction ID and signature, I guess. Yeah, transaction ID. I think it's it's not the signature. So it's not the transaction you can join. It's not the field you can join on. It's just a number of transactions inside this block, and the signature is the transaction, like the string which shows that which you can join with other tables. Yeah, and actually all the data it's explained in a data set, so you can actually you can go through the description. And maybe I spent it too much on this, too much time on this, just because it is in description. But basically, it's all could be used, all could be useful or not. It's up to you to check, to build the features or do any logic. But here, just for the sake of the example, to give you some baseline framework how to approach, the feature, there's only one feature, and it's just the sum of all the volume of the token. So that's basically it. So all the transactions in the first 100 blocks, we just sum in the Solana volume of this token. That's it. So we are doing this group by, and this is the features. And then we get this table, and we can join it to train data set and to test data set. Here's what we're doing. So we do this merge. So we're taking just some model, the gradient boosting model, no tuning, just with default parameters, we put in these features, one feature, and the target, the fact if the token is graduated or not, the model is learning for a couple of minutes, actually for 1 minute. It's not big task because it's just less than 1 million rows. It's not much for machine learning model, and especially if just one feature. And then we are having this model, which is with this one feature. Of course, it's not that big of the model, but with this one feature, we are applying it to the test data set, which has exactly the same feature, joined exactly the same way. Yeah, so we are doing this prediction. Here's the prediction probability. And so we're having the probability of the token to be graduated. And we get this table. So basically, this is the mint, and then the probability, which is, of course, around the same amount, like an average gradation probability is around 1%. So this prediction is also around 1%. So yeah, basically, this is all the solution. We are saving it to the CSV file, and then if you run it, you get this submission CSV that you can actually submit to competition. And that's what I did. And this is exactly how this, in this competition, leaderboard is, so now there's only one solution, is the baseline submission. And you, of course, you can base your solution on the baseline, but it's very basic. So you probably will move very far from it, even if you're in the first few hours. Yeah. Yeah, I guess this is all I wanted to cover for this kickoff meeting. And of course, you can ask more questions in the in the Discord, or here you can create a topic with your question. It's also like you're welcome to do this. And yeah, that's what expected. I probably will make one more, maybe a couple of more calls in next weeks to also to answer the questions if there would be need for this. So yeah, that's it. I guess that let's try to work with this competition and have at least to have fun, maybe to win some prizes. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, one more thing I think which is important. I just think it's nice to show the current rating because there are some participants that do really well, and I think it's nice to show their effort. And yeah, now we have one person who solved 3 out of 4 week tasks successfully, and he has like a really big score. And yeah, there are a few others that solved at least 2 tasks, and some of people who solved successfully 1 task. And I think that's this rating would would grow over the time. And this big task, of course, it would have bigger weight, but basically it's just the part of the same rating. That's what I want. Yeah, that's it. So I see that your microphone is off. If you have any final questions, you're welcome to ask them. But otherwise, just wrap up, and just we can talk later in the Discord. Okay, so yeah, so let's try this competition then. Okay, bye.